Hello, everybody. Welcome to Isabella Bank's YouTube channel. I'm Wheezy, and as always, it's a pleasure to be here this evening. Oh boy, the topic of conversation this evening is what we have been waiting for the longest time to discuss. All right. So I'm not going to dilly dally. I'm just going to dive straight into it because, boy, we are at game time, guys. The trial of the century has officially begun. Uh, and it looks like Prince Harry has some people by the balls. What can we say? He has got them by the balls. Unless you have been living under a rock or in a palace with suspiciously soundproof walls, you will know that Harry's case against NGN, aka the Sun, kicked off today. The news of it reverberated around the world, and even the blind, deaf, and dumb knew that the case was starting today. That's how important this case seems to be. And it has just been interesting watching the fallout of all the drama that occurred in the court halls today, in the courtroom today. But as in, what's a trial without some Murdoch-inspired drama, right? Because as soon as things started rolling, Harry's legal eagle, David Sherman, our very own courtroom David, going up against Goliath, requested a recess on behest of the Murdoch group. I have seen Chris Ship and the usuals reporting that it was Harry's lawyers that requested the recess. No, it was Murdoch's lawyers that requested the recess at the behest, at the request of Murdoch's lawyers. Apparently, the Murdoch group had approached Prince Harry's lawyers with a last-minute settlement offer. So, uh, shout out to there's this guy who was giving us minute by minute updates on the goings on in the courts. Shout out to him because he was just amazing. Even before they were determined that the British media would not be able to report the goings on in the courts inaccurately, but despite their best efforts, I don't know whether it's because they are so used to phrasing any headlines that have to do with Harry negatively. They just couldn't help themselves. They had to slip in some small lies here and there, even though those lies could be easily proven by the millions of other reporters, independent ones as well, who were in the courtroom. It's amazing. So, excuse me, shout out to him because he did a brilliant job of giving us the heads up whereas the updates were coming in. And I think that if there weren't people like that in the courtroom, they would have done a lot worse. They would have done a whole lot worse. So yeah, shout out to him. But isn't this deja vu? Don't you feel like this? We've been here before, we've heard this kind of information before. Remember the Dominion against Fox News debacle? Murdoch's crew pulled the same trick, delaying and delaying until they finally coughed up 770 something $1 million, almost a billion. Well, it looks like history is going to be repeating itself because reports from the courtroom hinted at something juicy, a massive settlement offer to hush up this hacking saga. uh, I think that this is quite unlikely, but let me not get ahead of myself. Now, back to the courtroom shenanigans. Shepard initially asked for a 1 hour recess. The judge It was the beginning of the day, very calm. He probably even expected the request because remember, I told you guys in my last update that the Murdoch's lawyers were requesting a delay because they were struggling with the 200,000 pages of evidence they had to go through. And the judge was like, nope, I've given you guys all this time. You have had years to prepare for this trial. So you are not getting any additional time. Meanwhile, Harry and his teams just looks like they are ready. They were just like, right, we are here. Let's go. Let's go. You say you are the chief. You say you are the king. All right, let's go. We're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll. Anyway, when that first hour they had requested was up, Murdoch's team wanted another hour and then another. Eventually, they pushed their luck too far, asking for a 2 hour delay. At that point, the judge was having none of it and was basically like, nope, not today. You can take it up with the Court of Appeal if you don't like my answer. And guess what? That's exactly what they did. Off they went, effectively delaying the trial by the entire day for the entire day by technical means, because obviously if the judge in their own case says no, it's a lower court and they appeal to the and they make an application to the Court of Appeal, which is a higher court, while the lower court is waiting for the Court of Appeal's response, the lower court cannot proceed anyway. So even though the judge refused their application for a delay, by making an application to the Court of Appeal, whether it is granted or not, they achieved their aim, which means that they're probably not sleeping as you and I are here right now because they are still negotiating on the terms of a settlement if it is going to be reached. I feel like this could be a movie. I feel it could be a very great book, like a James Patterson book. I hope he is writing a book. Um, um, but the judge in itself, although he was very stern with them, and he needed to be, because these are two very stubborn parties. Prince Harry on his own is just very stubborn. And then NGN, they have been used to having their way for centuries. And they have not come up against anyone like Harry before now. So they were just thinking that they would make short work of him, only for him to drag them kicking and screaming into the court. But the judge did give us a little entertainment because when Murdoch's lawyers asked for a private hearing, when they asked for the last adjournment, which is the recess that I was referring to, and he said no. Then they said, please, could we see you in private? He was like, see you in private? Are you kidding? In this case, out of all the cases in this world, you could ask for a private hearing. It is this case. No way in hell would I ever consider meeting with either one of you in private. It's a very high stakes trial. So obviously that's very wise of him because it wouldn't take anything for them, either party, to accuse the other of some shenanigans behind the scenes. So let's break down this case, at least a summary of the case for those who are new here. For those newbies to this case, hello, welcome. Grab some popcorn. This case is all about Prince Harry and former Labour MP Tom Watson, who are accusing NGN, the owners of the Sun newspaper, of hacking phones, stealing data, and orchestrating a massive cover up. Okay? And here are some of the spicy allegations so far. Okay. James Murdoch, that's Rupert Murdoch's son, Rebecca Brooks, and Will Lewis. Will Lewis is the current CEO of the Washington Post, allegedly instigated and authorized the cover up. that they have been accused of, right? The Sun's editor, Victoria Newton, allegedly published stories based on illegally accessed information, and Rupert Murdoch allegedly misled a parliamentary committee. Is anybody shocked? Everyone knows that the guy is sleazy and you cannot trust him. You cannot trust him at all. Harry and his team also allege that Rupert Murdoch and his team are guilty of deleting over 30 million emails to hide wrongdoing in a plan approved at Murdoch's Californian mansion. Any way you want to look at it, these are very serious claims. And for the first time, they're going to be tested in court over the next 9 weeks. That is, if they're not able to reach a settlement. This is the reason why I said that Rupert Murdoch has never been here before. He's never been, well, I think he's never been had any of his cases tested in court because they always settle before they get any of the issues tried in court. But he's never met someone who has a lot, as much at stake personally. We're not talking financially, we're talking about personally as Prince Harry. And yeah, so, and they've made a lot of mistakes along the way. You know, if he knew that Prince Harry was not the dullard that the British media reported him to be, I wonder whether his approach would have been any different. Anyway, some might ask, as serious as these claims may be, it's still not a big deal. After all, the Murdoch Group have dealt with even more serious allegations in the past. So why are they scared? What's the big deal? If he can pay Fox News 700 and what is it again, million, then what's the big deal? Why are they so scared? Why are they scampering about like rats in hot oil? Well, it's because a lot of the journalists who are involved in this case, who have been mentioned in this case, who are going to give witness in this case, were part of the Levinson inquiry. And when they appeared to give testimony in the Levinson inquiry, for all intents and purposes and allegedly, they lied when they gave evidence in the case. And the proof of that is in the documents Harry has since obtained. And not only that, he has provided the evidence to the court, of which, of course, you know, at this point in the case, the defendant also, that is Murdoch, he can see what Harry has and he knows he is toast. I take so much pleasure in that. Anyway, but the problem is if they are caught, if the case goes through the rigors of trial and at the end of the day, the court finds that indeed they are guilty of all the things Harry alleged, that means they lied when they gave evidence in the Levinson inquiry, which means that they will be guilty of perjury. Perjury is a criminal offense. The police will have to get involved. I think the reason why they haven't gotten involved is allegedly they are supposed to be implicated in this. But the other side of it is that there has been no conviction of the parties, the accused parties. But once this case is done and the judge finds them guilty, that's it, they're cooked. They're going to have criminal charges raised against them, which may likely get them jail time. This, my friends, is the crux of the matter. This, my friends, is the crux of the matter. Before we continue, if this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comment section, okay? I would love to hear your comments. All right. If you have visited before and you have not yet subscribed, let today be the day you decide that you're going to subscribe. Join our growing community and help us reach our goal of 10K subs. We are on a mission to reach 10K subs because that is what the UK anti media harassment charities require in order for them to agree to collaborate with us. So, in order for us to be able to help Harry in his campaign efforts, we need 10K subs. So, if you haven't subscribed and you think you would like to join the mission, at least for joining as far as just subscribing is concerned, please go ahead to subscribe. To all those who have been with me from the beginning, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button and also share your thoughts in the comment section below. Okay, now let's dive back into this conversation and today's events. You know, at the moment, we have all heard that they stormed off to the Court of Appeal in order for them to discuss settlement options. The thing is, now that's going to open the door for exactly what is happening, which is opinions are flying left and right. Some commentators think Harry will settle, given how steep and difficult the UK libel laws are, in the sense that they lean almost in favor of media giants. Others believe he'll stick to his guns and see this through, no matter the cost. What do you guys think? I've seen some comments in the comment section, but what do you guys think? You know, I was quite surprised because, of course, you know, we have anytime there's anything relating to Harry is concerned, is telegraphed around the world, and the UK media jump on it and max out every way of profiting from Harry's name as possible. And of course, we had all the talk shows discussing the case today. So let's have a look, listen to what one lady was saying on the Storm Huntley show, shall we? Did you guys hear her? That Liz Cuddy or whatever her name is. Anyway, I wish I could show it to you so that we could review it together. But unfortunately, you know, YouTube guidelines. Let me play a bit of this soundbite for you so you can hear.
Claimants that had to back out for financial reasons, does he owe it to them to step forward and keep going through with it?
Well, no, it was their choice to back out of it. They got paid. They couldn't afford it. They had to back out. No one agrees with how the papers have treated them. You know, it is appalling. And that's why Leveson was put in place. But Harry is not like, you know, suddenly this beacon of light that's going to be this warrior that's going to save everyone. How about him think of others in the family? Say, look, I've made my point. Everyone knows where I stand. He's got his life now in America with his family. Go and enjoy that. Go and do some good, some charity. You've made your point, Harry, and I feel for him. I do think it's spurred on by what happened to his late mother, sadly.
But Harry, is it time for him to just let it go when it comes to...
So look at Liz Cuddy sounding like she was suddenly feeling sorry for Harry. She's concerned that Harry will be spending a lot of money as though it's her money, as though she has ever said anything positive about Harry, as if she has ever supported his move to America, as though his decision as to whether he's going to continue with the case or not is any of her damn business anyway. Because she is a member of the media, of course, what else is she going to say? Of course, she is going to be very in favor of Harry withdrawing from the case and accepting the settlement, whether it is what Harry wants or not. It's amazing to me how they infantilize the royal family. And I think that's part of their problem with Harry. They have not been able to control him despite employing so many different I'm sure, very punishing behind the scenes means to get him to back down from this case. Let me play you another soundbite because the one I played before wasn't exactly the right one.
True to Ian, and I do not blame him one bit. Can I just put you right there? Prince William did get a payoff, but he gave it to charity. I didn't say they would punish me. I just said he got to took the payoff. He didn't even tell the rest of it. Well, he didn't tell his brother he had it. But we all know that Harry has, Harry has spoke so vocally how upset he is with the press. He's been to court so many times. This is going to be a huge financial loss to him.
But why should he take one company to court and hold them accountable and not another company? That seems a little unfair.
Honestly, the argument was hot online today. Even the British media seem to be arguing amongst themselves. I must say that's probably the reason why Storm has her own show, because she seems quite good at moderating her show without losing her cool too much. But the question is for you guys, right? What do you think? What do you think? What do I think? I think personally, well, before I say what I think, let me look at your comments to see what you think. So Dolores says, if Harry was to settle it, it should be for 2 billion and Rupert Murdoch to pay his court costs. If this case moves forward, the royal family and Rupert Murdoch are going to set the record for the most corrupt case in the UK. This was widespread corruption from the top to the bottom, including the royal family and Rupert Murdoch and the government and the police department. This corruption will be disastrous to all involved, allegedly. Yes. Lorna says, did you hear Prince Harry is not in the UK? According to People magazine, he is not scheduled to be here until February. Yes, I heard this, which means that all the reports of them saying that they had given that Harry was going to receive limited security and he had declined a place at Buckingham Palace was all nonsense. Let me see what other comments are there. Lorna again says, okay. Let's see. June, Isabella Banks, as we would say, rip off their clothes and expose them all. Get them, my prince. Amen to that. Harry might walk away a billionaire and cause his brother to lose what lives. Woo! That is so true. That is so true. And also, Murdoch has shareholders he has to answer to. The last couple of fines ended up with him resigning his chairmanship. I mean, I would imagine so, because if you are a shareholder of a company where the CEO is so reckless, you might be concerned about the share price of the company, no? I wonder how much did Charles and William have to do with the case? Can't imagine. I'm sure that they had a lot to do in terms of, well, starting from the beginning, which was the time when Charles decided that he would get into bed with the media full time because he wanted to rehabilitate Camilla's image. And so all the things that the media knew about the royal family were already there. And then he decided to get in bed with the media. And every other person that he threw under the bus in order to rehabilitate both his image and Camilla's image after Diana passed away. They have all that information, all the correspondence, and I'm sure they've held it over his head for years, you know. So, I don't know where the point of the case is that Harry is saying that his allegations against the media are phone hacking, illegal data gathering, And what's the third one? Yeah, covering up. Yeah. So you have the sins of the royal family in terms of those things that I just mentioned, okay, where they offered Harry and others up as scapegoats to the media. I think that formed the invisible contract that Harry mentioned for so long. And then you have the media's bit, because I think that once the royal family opened the door to the media, then they had to reach agreements that allowed the media to penetrate the palace, which allowed them to, I'm guessing, and allegedly bug certain members of the royal family. Like they had spies now in the royal family, which will give them information beyond what was even agreed by the royal family, which is how that first royal family scandal came up in the first place in the 90s, which is the case that enabled William to get that settlement from the Murdoch group. I forget which company it was now, because they were caught accessing his voicemails. They were caught. And that is how they got that. So that is the extent, I think. I'm sure that there is more, but what I'm just trying to say is that they both have an agenda. They both had an agenda. And I think that the media went beyond the boundaries that the royal family gave them. And if you think about it, what else do you expect? You put fresh meat in front of a lion. What are you expecting to happen? It's going to devour it. And the media devoured the royal family. They went beyond. Now, accessing, and this is part of the reason why they were so confident, initially, because of that invisible contract that they had with the royal family. When they probably realized that they might have a problem with Harry, they got in touch with the royal family. The royal family said, "Oh, don't worry. By the time we pull the 1-2 game on him, he will come running back." Only for that not to happen. And then the media just took it from there. Uh, Lottie says, I heard the media did such terrible things to Chelsea David. They went as far as hiring a private investigator. Yeah, very true. That's they did. And I'm sure that they had even a lot more information than has even been disclosed so far. I also feel like at this point, what do you guys think? I feel like Prince Harry has completely, right? He has completely got them by the balls. And I think that Harry would have settled this case if the following had not happened. Number one, if his mother had not passed, it would have been a very simple issue, because I feel like, I don't know him personally, obviously, but I feel like on a certain level, Harry is very easygoing. So he would have been, he would have let it go very easy. Another reason why he would have let it go if would be if they hadn't dedicated their time to smearing Meghan's image. Meghan had a perfect public image before she met Harry, only for it to be trashed in the UK. What is it? One page apology is not going to resolve that problem, you know? Even if Meghan never acts, uh, works as an actress again in her lifetime, how is going to take them years? One page apology is not going to solve the problem. How are they going to resolve that? And even as we speak, they are still attacking Harry. Another reason why I think that Harry would have settled the case, he would have settled the case if Meghan had not continued to be smeared, and had the British media stopped interfering with their commercial enterprises and instigated a smear campaign against Harry and Meghan to ruin their public reputations. They will ruin their reputations, make it more difficult for them to earn a living. Then Harry would have been so easygoing. He would have been Harry the lad, talked it over a glass of beer. But now it's gone way beyond that. So now they're going to have to pay for not only everything they did to him while he was younger, they're going to have to deal with everything that has happened since. Also, Meghan miscarried. So there has been some, I think, in Harry's mind, allegedly, his mother's blood and his unborn child's blood is on the head of the media. So it's not as simple as people are making it seem. It's not as simple as people are making it seem, like he would just easily settle the case. No, there's a lot at stake here beyond money, which is the issue. Beyond money. This is not even about money. It's the kind of thing that Harry would really rather go poor and broke than to settle this case. The way I am looking at it, I may be wrong, but I feel like that might be right. So I think, for them to have gotten to this point, they tried to find something wrong with Harry and Meghan. Maybe that's the reason why they're always scrutinizing their annual report from Archewell. That's why they're always scrutinizing the reports from Invictus Games to see whether they can hold them up for any financial wrongdoing. That's why they keep pulling up the bullying reports, the non-existent bullying reports, to see whether someone would actually come out and say or agree to put their name for a price to the bullying reports. But they've been unable to find anyone because Harry and Meghan have shown that they will sue the pants off anyone who comes forward to do something like that. So the best that they can do is to infer that they are guilty of those things. Anyway, I wish they would sue the pants off Vanity Fair, but I also understand if they don't. And this is the reason why I feel like it's highly unlikely that Harry will settle. For the moment, he has to make it look as though he is entertaining the conversation. I believe, I don't know, obviously, but I feel like he has to make it look like he's entertaining the conversation. But when you look at all that has gone on and all that has been lost, I don't know how he can. You understand? I just don't know how he can. The conditions would be almost untenable for the Murdoch group to satisfy. He will be asking for things like wall-to-wall coverage on all the pages of their newspaper for a year, or for the exact amount of time which they have smeared him and Meghan for. That might be a start, in which case, I'm sorry, is what is going to, I'm sorry to Harry and Meghan, is what is going to be on the newspapers for 8 good or 10 years, if possible, plus the billions in compensation, plus the payment of their legal fees, plus everything else, plus coming out to admit exactly what they did, plus pushing for the Levinson 2 inquiry. Because it's not just even about his own vindication. He has made it clear that he wants to see reform in how the press operates in the UK. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a difficult one. And luckily, I don't believe Harry is working on his own. All the people who couldn't proceed with their cases because the judicial rules don't make it easy for people to continue, and believe that they have all come together to support him, to help him through. Anyway, that is my best case scenario in my head. Like, what is the best thing to do? I feel like people would have helped him behind the scenes, because how else would he be able to continue? don't forget that they said that with he was prepared to chest the cost of this trial, which would be his fees, his lawyer's fees, which would most likely run up to £50 million. He was ready to do that. Harry is a big boss, but does he have £50 million? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let me see. Taiwo says take compensation of 1 billion damages, $1 billion damages. It shouldn't even be dollars, it should be pounds, because that's a lot more. 1 billion, is it even enough? More like 10 billion. What 10 billion damages for that 10 million for damages. Ensure that your lawyers prepare a watertight agreement what the, with Murdoch Group, which includes I'm sorry I was wrong, it will never happen again. Well, let's see. Let us see. Let us see. Let us see. Let us see. I think either way, we have come to the 3/4 of the field, of the war field. If you are looking at a war field, we've come 3/4 of the way. And I think that the murder group are panicking because of the kind of evidence that Prince Harry has. And I think that they will be trying to do everything that they can to make sure that the evidence that Harry has does not make its way into the public. If it does, I believe that they are ruined and the company, the entire syndicate is going to fall into the ashes. Lottie says Harry should settle for 100 billion. Now you're talking. Now you're talking $100 billion. That's more like it. Yeah. $100 billion. Let's see after they settle whether the Daily Mail will have the audacity to price everything that Meghan wears after that. $100 billion. Yes. He would, I believe, that would be some good money to settle on. I believe that would be some good money to settle on, but unfortunately I don't think Harry will I don't know, but I really don't feel like it. He really wants that evidence to find its way into the public space for all the main reasons I have mentioned. Yeah. Okay, guys. I don't want to keep us here for too long, as would be usual. I'm going to leave it here. Did you guys hear that I had a little bit of an argument with Victoria Arbiter online? I think I'm going to have that discussion tomorrow. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these updates. This trial is just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's going to happen next. And I am going to be sleeping beside my computer to make sure I don't miss anything. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, this is Wheezy signing off. Peace.